Because at that point, then it becomes personal. You know what I'm saying? Because anything outside of scripture that it falls in law according to scriptures, okay. But then when you start to like add and out, no, you have to get someplace else.
There was 2 weeks I went to a Moray dance class and
Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, once again, welcome everyone into the second portion of our Shabbat services here at the house of Yehuda. First and foremost, once again, giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to the Holy One of Israel. Yah, by saying,
Hallelujah.
and at the end of this class, we're gonna, after we adjourn at 6:30, we're gonna take comments or questions for anyone that may feel that they did not have a chance to answer to ask all their questions concerning the subject matter already being dealt with Minister Mikael and myself. You can ask those questions at that time. And if you got any other concerns about the way the nation of Israel is moving, let us know. Let the voice be heard. Let your voice be heard. It's something you would like for us to teach on in the future. Let your voice be heard. You can call in, as I always would allow our people to just call in 513-377-5815. But I said that's after my lesson that's ended at 6:30, and after we adjourn, we're going to take 15, 20 minutes top for that. Well. It's a blessing to be in the land of the living. This week I was in the hospital, I got a kidney stone. Oh boy. When I tell you, it's something that you don't even want your worst enemy to get. Very painful. But the mighty Yah didn't think I was going to be here today. The mighty Yah brought me through. And I give him all the praise, all the honor, and all of the glory. And today we're going to deal with one of his everlasting laws, his covenants that he gave to our people, Israel. And we're going to deal with Satan. Who is Satan? We're going to deal with Lucifer. Who is Lucifer? We're going to deal with Bereshit. We're going to deal with the Garden of Eden. If you're still under the erroneous deception that the white man came from Cain, we'll deal with that as well. But first, I want to ask Israel a question. If you have a female dog that happens to be bleeding, how long is the dog unclean? Or is the dog unclean? How long is the dog unclean? Or is the dog unclean? Because believe it or not, you have teachers, you have morays, you have ministers that say the dog should be unclean for 7 days. Yes. For 7 days, just like a woman. That's how long the dog supposed to be unclean. Yes. Yes. So I'll pose this to Israel. Is any truth behind that? Is any scriptures to verify if a female dog is bleeding, that the dog is unclean for 7 days? And this is what happens when men start making up their own doctrines. Because when I asked them to show me that in the law, I have not one moray in the city, outside of the city, outside of the states, show me one scripture to back up that madness. It's not one. But this is what they were saying. And I would be very insulted if I was a woman, compare me to the uncleanness of a dog. Very insulting. But this is what is said by some teachers. And of course, if anyone else believes that madness, just call in. Or post the scripture on YouTube or Facebook. YouTube or Facebook. Now we're going to deal with circumcision today. Is circumcision binding today? Because there's no Christian church where one call themselves a Baptist, Methodist, Seventh-day Adventist, Jehovah's Witness, Pentecostal, that teach that it is. And to my surprise, there are Israelite camps, Israelite Knesses, that also believe that circumcision of the flesh is necessary. All you got to be is circumcised in the heart. That is all the mighty Yah is looking for. For us as his people and for the Gentiles to be circumcised in the heart. So we're going to investigate that before we get into who is Satan, and who is Lucifer, who is the devil, and who is the seed of the serpent, and who did the white man come, all this stuff. We're going to get in today. Well, let's first go to the book of Genesis, the 17th chapter. Genesis chapter 17. Genesis the 17th chapter. And I say Shabbat Shalom to all the brothers and sisters. Brother Ayakim, Chris, right? Abiel, Shabbat Shalom. Genesis the 17th chapter. It says, when Abram was 90 years old and 9, Yahweh appeared to Abram, the mighty Yahuwah, the mighty Yahweh, El Shaddai. He said, I am the Almighty Elohim. Walk before me and be thou perfect. Says, I am the one that gives commandments, statutes, laws, ordinances. I am the one that says, let there be light, and there was light. I am the one that rescued Daniel out of the den of lions. I am the one that delivered my people out of Egypt. I am the Almighty, the all-knowing, all-powerful. Walk before me, and I want you to be perfect. And lo, Abraham said, what? You want me to do something that they say that no man can do? And I know it can be done. Abraham knew. He didn't have the mistakes as a Christian today, as an Israelite today. He said, all I got to do is walk before you to be perfect, and you're going to make your covenant between me and you and multiply thee exceedingly. And my first question is, will Yah tell a man or a woman to do something they knew they didn't have the capacity of doing? No. He told this great man because he knew he had the capacity, the ability to do. And he said, Abram fell on his face, and I let him talk with him, saying, as for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations, of the Midianites, of the Edomite nation, the Ishmaelites. You're going to be a father of many, the Israelite nation, of many nations. And thy name shall no more be called Abram, no more two identities, but you're going to be known as Abraham, for a father of many nations have I already made you. And I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations come out of thee. Kings shall come out of thee, and I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee, in their generations, for an everlasting covenant. Now, how long is everlasting? Is it for one dispensation of time? Is it what just for Moses' time? Or how about when they was, or did they even get circumcised in Egypt? We got to investigate that. How long is it? Everlasting. to be a God unto thee and to thy seed after thee, and I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land where thou art a stranger, all of the United States, all of Canada. Did he say that? All of Mecca, all of Damona. He said, all of the land of Canaan for an everlasting possession. And I will be their Pa. I will be their Elohim. And Elohim said unto Abram, thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore, if you want these blessings to come upon you and your descendants after the end of their generations. And this is my covenant. This is the agreement. Just like when a man takes on a wife, it's a covenant agreement. This is when two people can make an agreement together to do a job. They enter into an agreement, a covenant. How long it's going to take, how much you're going to pay me, when am I going to get paid? And of course, according to our law, we know when you hire a person to do a job, they're supposed to get paid that same day, according to the law. But a covenant is an agreement between two or more parties. And he said, every man child amongst you, this is my agreement, shall be circumcised. And you shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin. And it shall be a token, a sign of the covenant between me and you. Just like I gave the bow in the day of the rain as a sign that I will not destroy the rabbits, the wolves, the coyotes, the raccoons, you, myself, would flood again. And it was so beautiful how y'all even did that. Yes. Not only did it rain for 40 days and 40 nights from the submarine, but the great depths of the ocean floors was broken up. But they call it geysers. So you had water that was coming up from the depths of below, on top of waters coming down. So everybody just read, and they didn't think the earth or that region was flooded just from waters coming down. But no, that's why you got to read thoroughly. As it was coming down, the waters was coming up. That's why they said mountains was covered. And y'all is beautiful in his works. And he said, he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised amongst you. And let me ask, because you don't know the difference between day and night, you're going to get this wrong. So let me ask those that listen by way of internet this question. If your son is born on the night, and today is the 12th, we're going to use the heathen calendar for us, so nobody get lost. If your son is born on the night of the 12th, it have to be my sister's birthday, Earth Day today. Praise y'all. The night of the 12th. The night of the 12th. When is he? And he born, he was brought forth at 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock. So I'm going to use the heathen day. So your male son was born at 10 p.m. Saturday night. When is he 8 days old? What calendar date? When is he 8 days old? Is it 10 o'clock on the 8 days later? When is he 8 days old? Is he 10 days? Is he ready to be circumcised at evening? Who knows? Well, let me tell you, when he's 8 days old, he's 8 days old on the 20th on this calendar date. And the 20th begins, that calendar date begins the morning of the 20th. He's 8 days old. So you don't wait until the 20th at evening, because that is when the day is ended. You don't wait till 10 o'clock that night. But see, it's 24 hours in the day, and he wasn't brought forth until 10 p.m. So we gotta wait, 24 hours to complete a day. Nowhere in scriptures. Absolutely nowhere with any minister in the world. And today we will offer you $5,000 to show us that. Show us a 24-hour biblical day in the scriptures. There is no 24 such thing as a 24-hour day. You were lied to. And even those that adhere to the New Testament, even Yeshua said, are there not 12 hours in the day? If a man stumbles, it because there's no light. But you shouldn't be stumbling, and there's light in this world you can see. You might need to go get them eyes checked or something. You just stumbling, keep stumbling and stumbling. Go get your eyes checked. But you should be stumbling in this light. You can see what's around you. But you don't know how to count if you don't know the difference between the day when the day began and the night began. But nevertheless, Genesis chapter 17, verse 12, it says, he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised amongst you. Every man child in your generations, he that is born in the house or bought with money of any stranger, which is not of the seed of Israel. Then let me ask you this question. If you, regardless if you're Israelite or a heathen, you're a Gentile, if you are keeping all of the 10 commandments as a male, keeping all of them now, perfectly, but you're not circumcised, can you be saved? Or are you saved? Or are you part of Yah's house? Think about it now. You're keeping all the 10 commandments. Those decrees, as some say, in Exodus chapter 20. Are you in good standing with Yah? But you're just not circumcised. Are you part of his household family? And not only are you keeping the 10 commandments, you keep the dietary law. You keep the laws of cleanliness. You keep the holy days. You keep atonement. You keep Pesach, unleavened bread. Are you okay? Are you part of Yah's house? Is Yah smiling upon you? The only thing you are not is circumcised. What you think? Who says no, you're not in good standings? Who says yes? And let me tell you, no, you're still not in good standings. And why did I say you're not in good standings? Because number one, you was never part of the household of Yah to begin with. This is the first requirement for a male, whether he's an Israelite or a heathen or a Gentile. You want to be in good standing, the first thing you got to do is get circumcised. You nasty rascals, get circumcised. And then after that, Genesis chapter 17, it says verse 13, he that is born in that house and he that is brought without money must need be circumcised, and my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised man-child, of whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He broke my covenant. He broke the agreement. How can you be a part of Israel, part of the houses of these Israelite camps, and all they want is your money? Most of them 501(c) to begin with. And they want your money. That's why they allow certain allowances to take place in there. So they allowed a white man to marry a black Israelite woman right in the place. And they allow a black man to marry a white, and they call her a white Israelite. Because we grafted in now. We grafted. We all with the Lord in Christ. And all we got to do is believe in the Lord Christ. We ain't on that circumcision of the flesh stuff because God now, all he's concerned with is the heart, baby. See, y'all on that worldly stuff. Y'all worry about getting the flesh circumcised and having to do law stuff. See, the Lord I know, Christ, how much shut up. He ain't concerned with all that. See, you in the New Dispensation, bro, you gotta get with the times. See, you on that old time religion. We on the new thing. Now we on new that. I know that's why your mind all messed up. Because you own a new religion. And God didn't give his people a religion. He gave his people a covenant, an everlasting covenant. And he said the man who's not circumcised, he have broken his covenant, he cut off from his people. And Elohim said unto Abraham, verse 15, as for Sarah, thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarah, but Sarah. I'm going to surname her. I'm going to give her a great name. Shall her name be? And I will bless her and give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed and said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah, that is 90 years old, bear? And Abraham said, oh, that Ishmael may live before thee. And Elohim said, Sarah, thy wife, shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Yishah, Isaac. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. As for Ishmael, I heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and I will make him fruitful, and I will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, not with Ishmael. My covenant will I establish with Isaac, not with Esau, but with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee this time next year. And Ishmael, he had to be circumcised because number one, he was Abraham's son. And number two, he was living in the house of Abraham. And all the servants that lived in the house of Abraham had to get circumcised. All them big bucks. They couldn't tell Abraham what they, I can't do that. I ain't gonna do that. Abraham said, what? Your head gonna roll, you could be getting out of here. So all those 300 trained servants that he had, they had to get circumcised if they were not already. Then let's go to Deuteronomy, the 10th chapter. And this is what y'all told the whole nation. And this is what the whole nation is lacking. Men and women. Deuteronomy, the 10th chapter. The 10th chapter, the 16th verse. It says, circumcise the foreskin of your heart and be no more rebellious. Be no more stiff-necked. Israel. And the reason why we're rebellious and we don't want to teach that you can't collect tithes in this land because our heart is not circumcised. The reason why we are rebellious and stiff-necked and still teaching people that the law says you must fast on the Day of Atonement because your heart is not circumcised. Y'all not looking for you to fast and fast over here to the right, fast to the left, fast to the middle. He's looking for you to circumcise your heart. And if you circumcise your heart, you will humble yourself. And it made you wrong. Made you wrong. And just because you are moray, don't make you a leader. Don't make you a leader at all. All you doing is teaching. Trying to instruct people in the best way to walk in the ways of the Most High. And one thing that Creator did say was true. If you are a leader, you think you're a leader. He said the leaders of this people is the ones that's calling them to error. And they that are led of them are destroyed because they're sending out the wrong message. They're not telling the people what they need to hear. They're telling the people what they want to hear. Well, you're not going to get this from the house of Yahuwah. We're going to tell you what you need to hear, whether you like it or not. and circumcision of the flesh is still binding today. Although you jackleg preachers don't like to hear that. You don't like to hear the law about don't eat no pig, don't eat no catfish. But you sure like to hear about, you sure want me to teach on y'all collecting tithes though. You would love to hear me teach that. That it's okay to rob from the people in the name of the Lord. Every Sabbath and every Sunday. You'd be all right with that. But any other law I dealing with the Sabbath, keeping the Sabbath, no. You can't keep, how you gonna keep the Shabbat day set apart? Brother Yoel, you in the defiled land. How you gonna keep that set apart? You're not at home. You're not at Jerusalem. How you gonna keep the Shabbat day set apart? You don't even know what a Shabbat day is. How you gonna call yourself keeping the Shabbat day set apart? Well, let me tell you. If I don't know what it is, you tell me what it is. You tell me what barometer you use to declare when it's the weekly Sabbath day. You tell me when it starts and you tell me when it ends. Matter of fact, I'll invite you in to teach publicly on this podium. And I will question you myself, teachers, leaders, that's in opposition of what we teach in here. That would be only fair. I think it would only be fair. But some of you like to sit back on your armpit couches and chairs, and you like to criticize teachers that teach. That's all you look for to do, is criticize and find something wrong that they're saying. Find a Hebrew word that they mispronounce and get on about this. But none of you armchair preachers will come in here and teach a lesson. Because that's that. You armchair. What work is you putting in? What are you doing? It's easy to sit back in the comforts of your living room and listen to somebody speak and pick out one thing maybe that they said was what it was off a little bit. Easy for you to do that. But I want to see you get up here and teach a lesson for hour and a half. And I'll give you the lesson to teach on. Because you are certain, yeah, you're a teacher. You should be fortified to teach on anything. Regardless what it is. Anything. I'm talking about Quran, New Testament, Old Testament, anything. And let me pick the lesson out for you to teach on. Give you an hour. Give you a whole hour. For the prayer. I watch how people ask questions. And a lot of people don't ask questions for edification purposes. They ask questions to you and Yim and other people to try to dam them up, to try to prove them wrong. All you gotta do is sit back and observe over time. That's all you gotta do. Have few Israelites talking about David wasn't the Messiah. I said, okay, I would debate y'all over David is not the Messiah. If he is not, I ain't stepping forward. Could be right here in the city, and they won't step forward. But they get behind an armpit of a computer on Facebook and entice people to believe a lie. Well, when you're right and you know you're right, you ain't running from nobody. Why? What need is to run? And we talk down, we say, well, I ain't debating no more. We have a discussion. And you come in, we have an open discussion with one another as brothers should have. The law is not debatable. It only becomes confused when people start adding to it and taking away from it. That when Brother Viet asked earlier about something about the writing to prove that was that you married. And I haven't seen that in the scriptures. And when the scripture's silent, as Lisa said, you should stay silent. Ain't no need for me to start adding stuff to it. Yeah, because if you had a bill or the one they had a bill, it don't say that. So I don't add to the book. I don't diminish from the book. I leave the law as it is because I know it's perfect. Y'all said give her a writing of divorcement, send it and put it in her hand and send her out of your house. That's what the law said. But our hearts are not circumcised today. So many of us don't even desire to keep the Shabbat day. We want to make that money and keep it real. We just want to make that money. A lot of us. We don't want to make that sacrifice or giving up the job and getting a lesser paying job. That's all. We don't want to make sacrifices. In Psalm 50, he said, gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. See, when you're walking with God, you got to be ready to walk so-called alone by yourself. You can't be afraid of being ostracized, being talked about. They're going to talk about you anyway. So don't get caught up and worry about pleasing man. Guys, you just can't please everybody. Ain't that right, Sister Dog? I gotta have Sister Dog. You gotta bring her. You gotta do one of them poems about how you can't please everybody. I'm sure she could do a good one. But live your life to please Yah. Glorify Yah. Magnify Yah. Don't get caught up in man and this and that. But we all need to circumcise our heart. Then let's go to, you gonna come up today? Later on? Let's hope so. Let's get our fingers crossed. Let's go to Exodus chapter 4. Exodus the 4th chapter. Yeah, we gotta get the poetry back up there. Exodus chapter 4. The poet Michael and the poetress, Sister Dawn. Gotta get them back up there. Get them back in and get them through. Exodus the 4th chapter. Maybe get Poetry Maria up here too. And sing to your kid. Like that. Okay. Get Sister Nesha in here too. She can sing. Oh yeah. Yeah. This is chapter 4. And right here in the 4th chapter, Exodus, verse 21, it said that Yah said unto Moses, when thou goest to return into Egypt, see that thou do all these wonders before Pharaoh, which I have put in thine heart. But I will harden his heart, that he should not let Israel go. He should not let Israel go. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus saith Yah, Israel is my son, my firstborn son. Israel is the apple of my eye. Israel is the world without end. Israel is my everlasting gates and doors. And it came to pass. Verse 24, by the way to end, that Yah met him and sought to kill Moses. What? He said to kill Shemaiah, Moshe? Why? Let's see. It said, then Zipporah took a sharp stone and cut off the foreskin of her son and cast it at his feet and said, surely a bloody husband art thou to me. So y'all let him go. Then she said, a bloody husband thou art because of the seriousness of the everlasting covenant that y'all made with Abraham. A circumcision. Y'all was gonna kill Moses, the most meekest man of the earth. But he was neglecting his responsibility as the head of that household to do what Yah instructed the man to do. Lead. Lead. And that's what was stated earlier. If you're not ready to lead, don't even think about getting married to a woman, taking on a wife. You're not ready. You're not spiritually mature enough. You're not mentally ready enough. And I believe every man should know when he's ready. He should know. And don't rush things. No need to rush. Our forefathers, they was old. The men was old when they got married. 35, 40 years old. 50 years old. When they was getting married, they was established. So you want to at least be some way financially established, that you don't go into a marriage covenant struggling to begin with. And she want to make sure she's spiritually mature, of age, mental-wise, body-wise, every age, to take on the responsibilities of a wife. It is no light thing. Let me call grandma up to babysit the children. No. You old enough, you took on this. Oh, these children, they drive me crazy. Oh, how they expect I'm about to pull my hair out. No. Now you know what mama went through. Your mama went through. And her mama went through. Have you ready? First, make sure you find that man. But y'all were gonna kill Moses because of this covenant. That's how serious it is. It is, but it's never too late. Let's say you got somebody out there listening and say, well, Brother Yoel, man, I'm 70 years old now, brother. It's too late for me. You know, I keep the dietary law. We listen to the house of Yehuda almost every week. You know, I do my best to live a righteous life, brother. It's just too late for me to get circumcised right now. I'm too old. It's never too old. And if Yah told Father Abraham at 90 years old, 99 years old, it's never too old to stop being disobedient. A live dog is better than a dead lion. And now that you know, Yah's going to require it of you. You cannot claim ignorance of the law. You didn't know about circumcision, how important it was, how binding it was. You know now. You heard it from one of the messengers of the Most High. So get it done. Don't wait. And I was so happy to hear my mother, my brother, ate her and going and get that name, get that heathen slave name changed.
Oh, yeah.
Great blessing.
Great job.
Great blessing. Great blessing. Because tomorrow not promised. But you want to make a comment, Maria? Yes.
I got a question to get your thoughts on it.
And if anyone else have any questions or comments, go right ahead. Yes.
And the question is, usually in hospitals, I don't know if they still do it now because I heard people talk against it, and some people had to go out of state in order to get their child circumcised. But I know the circumcision is supposed to come on the 8th day. But usually in hospitals, like us coming up, they try to circumcise the baby on that day.
Let me tell you, bro, they're gonna grab the baby on the first day, second day. They need quick way, the fastest way for them to do what they want to do.
And according to scriptures, though, what's your thoughts on that?
According to scriptures, you gotta be, and that's why Joshua was told by Yah to be strong and very courageous. And that's why we tell the mothers in Israel who got husbands or family members that are Israelites also in the law, have somebody there with you, if possible, at all times, because they will sneak in and they will grab your youth out and they give them inoculation, give them these shots, circumcise your child while she's all drugged up, can barely move after so many doctors and nurses. They send 1,000 doctors and nurses in just to talk about the same thing over. And she's so worried out, all she thinking about is sleeping. Don't have the strength to be looking and checking every 5 minutes. Oh, my baby, my baby. Oh, we just took him to get washed up, man. We took him to get washed up. You didn't ask. You didn't wake me up. No, they took him to get the shot. Now, you know, if they take the placenta and they want to keep that, what else you think they want to do to our youth in these hospitals? These hospitals are death camps. That's why only through what I call drastic emergency, and I had one this week, that I was hemmed up 5 days. I had one this week. If it ain't a gunshot, a knife wound where you cut out, you need the bleeding to stop. If all possibility, Israel, stay out of these places. And they're one of the most unclean places you could be outside of the airport. They're unclean. But have somebody with y'all, ladies and husbands. Make that sacrifice. If you got to lose time off the job, hey, it got to be done.
Say that.
If my employee don't understand that, the hell with it. Family comes, y'all comes first, then family. They'll come later. Then if I lose my job because I don't have enough vacation time or just give me the time off. And okay, when you have a child, they at least give you some time off. Yes. Thank you, Sister Don. 6 weeks off. But it's very important for you to be there with your wife.
Yes, sir.
Very important. And she needs that support because even going through that is is traumatizing. Even the way that youth is being brought forth is traumatizing. In the dark, she's in a position that she shouldn't be in naturally to bring forth the child. Because we dealing with Western culture, Western society. They don't a proper way of giving birth to a child. She's on her back, laying down. They talk about push. You know this pain I'm feeling? Push. That's why a lot of women die giving birth. So it's man, just even think about it. Oh boy, to be under our own nation one day, just the thought of that. Our own government, our own handmade nurses, our own teachers to teach the youth right education and not their education. Oh my goodness, who don't long for that? Our own schools, our own menus.
Yes.
You know, you don't have to worry about pork and all this in the food. It's food grown from the earth. Could you all imagine that? Don't have to worry about all this idolatry, madness. Children being have to go through Christmas parties and Easter, that stuff coming around. They've been bombarded. Now, why you ain't standing up for the American flag? They being ostracized. You stand, little Johnny. You stand. Call me your son, little Johnny. You stand, little Johnny. We don't do that. Pledge no allegiance to no idol. No, we don't do that. That was always important to talk to your children if they're in these public schools or any schools. Talk to them. And I was elated that they at least paid the family. I think city council gave them $3 million to the son that was bullied. He hung himself in the bathroom of one of the schools because he was being bullied. They didn't know about it. Get wind of it late. And bullying goes on. Trust me, it happened in my days, and it's still happening today. And if your children ain't telling you this, they got stuff hemmed up, it's bad. Whether you know it's a bad relationship between you and your daughter, your son. Talk to them. Don't forget about them. But Akira, you had a question or comment? Sister Donna, do you have a question or comment?
No, you was talking about women having the babies in the hospital, but if they had what you would call midwives, they can have them at home. They wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yes, if they have midwives. Yes. But some Israelites do have midwives. Some of them do, but majority don't. Matter of fact, I don't know too many brothers that circumcise male children, except for one in New York. But these things got to be made known to the Israelite community. Mr. Aaron got his certificate. Well, I'm gonna talk to him, and I'm glad you mentioned it. So I could find out. If I know, I can let Israel know. So you won't be in a position if you have a male seed, we have people that you can get in contact with that can circumcise your son rightfully, properly, to stay adherent to this covenant of Yah. Did you have a comment, Sister Donna? Or you just meditating on something? Just meditating? All right. Do you have a comment? All right?
Beautiful lesson.
Just praise Yah. Then let's go. And you notice when y'all were about to slay Moses, kill Moses, comes to sermon, you know he wasn't in the Holy Land. So what is this thing about the law of Yah? The covenants of Yah can only be kept in the Holy Land. Where can we read that at? You won't find that in the book. Nowhere in the scriptures. Yah said, I'm going to kill you if you don't keep the law before you get to the Holy Land. So you better be keeping it. Matter of fact, you better be keeping it before I take y'all into the wilderness. This is almost like this is a testing ground for Israel. To see who's going to make it or who's not going to make it. And then you think you're going to all of a sudden start keeping the law when you get to the wilderness. No, it don't work like that. Because now you don't form bad behavior patterns. bad behavior. You just can't turn the switch off and on like that. It ain't gonna happen. If you ain't doing it, it ain't built into you, ain't part of your DNA. You ain't gonna start when you get into the wilderness. But Moses wasn't in the land of Canaan. So I love for brothers to call in or post some in rebuttal of what I'm teaching and show me that he had to be in the land in order to get circumcised. You won't find that. And if you go to the book of Joshua, no, before Joshua, go to Exodus chapter 12. And this dealing with the Passover. To show you how important this is. They said, we're going to get to Satan, the spirit realm. So I really want to deal with the spirit realm, the so-called demon. There are no demons possess people. Got the succubus. 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 But let's go to Exodus chapter 12. And verse number 43. It said, and Yah said unto Moses and Aaron, this is the ordinance of the Passover. There shall no stranger eat thereof. But every man's servant that is brought for money, when thou hast circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof. A foreigner and a hired servant shall not eat of the Passover. And one house shall be eaten. Why? Because of Genesis the 17th chapter. It was always established with Abraham. See, we didn't have two different laws, one law for the Israelites and one law for the Gentiles. See, if he was born amongst us, you got to keep the Sabbath. You got to keep the so-called 10 commandments, as they say. No new laws. It said that all the congregation of Israel shall keep it. And when a stranger, this is right here, verse 48, shall sojourn with thee, live with you, and will keep the Passover to Yah, let all his males be circumcised. And then let him come near and keep Pesach. And he shall be one that is born in the land. For no uncircumcised person shall eat. You got hundreds of circumcised he that's eating the Passover. Somebody they keep a Pesach and they eating a lamb that's sick. Way over a year old. Don't know what they eat. He said, one law shall be to him that is homeborn, and to the stranger that sojourneth amongst you. One law. Not as they did in the New Testament, and you're going to see they had two different laws. For the Gentiles and the heathens, and for the Israelites. And y'all, in verse number 49 again, it says one law. Homeborn and to the stranger. Now let's go to the book of Joshua, the 5th chapter. It showed the world that we kept the everlasting covenant of circumcision in Kemet. Go to the book of Joshua. As we kept the weekly Sabbath in Kemet. Yes. And I said that often, and that blows people's mind. What? Did we receive the Sabbath when we came out of Egypt? When we got to the mountain? Yes, we got the rules and direction on the Sabbath. But that don't mean that the Sabbath was not in existence before then. It was in Bereshit. It was. And we kept it in Egypt, according to the scriptures. But Joshua, the 5th chapter, in verse 2, it said, at that time, Yahweh said unto Joshua, make these sharp knives, and circumcise again the children of Israel the 2nd time. And Joshua made him sharp knives, and circumcised the children of Israel at the heel of the foreskin. And this is the cause why Joshua did circumcise. All the people that came out of Egypt that were males, even all of them men of war, died in the wilderness. By the way, after they came out of Egypt, now all the people that came out were circumcised. All of them. But all the people that were born in the wilderness, when they came out, they had not circumcised them. For the children of Israel walked 40 years in the wilderness, till all the people that were men of war which came out of Egypt were consumed, because they obeyed not the voice of Yah. Unto whom Yah swore that he would not show them the land. We think Yah gonna show us the land? And we disobedient today. We ain't keeping Shabbat. We ain't keeping dietary. We ain't even tempted to, because our whole defense is the whole land is defiled. Brother, everything is unclean. But did you do what Yah told us to do? In Jeremiah 29th chapter, plant your own gardens, grow your own food. You knew you was coming to a defiled land, and to this day, we still know. But what do we still do? We still go to the heathens for our food. So don't claim that, oh, I didn't know. And the whole land is, I can't use that with me. Can't use that. The best thing you can do is since we still going to the heathens, is pray that you ain't eating raccoon with turkey. That's the only thing you can hope for. Oh, hope while you eat it. Oh, I hope this ain't half raccoon. Please, y'all don't let it be half rabbit. Please don't let this be half squid with my God. Please, y'all. Don't let this be. Only thing you can hope. Hope in the prayer, living on this mercy. And you know what I'm saying? We living on this mercy. But if you want to put yourself in a better position, get out there, roll up them sleeves, get that act pick, start working, start sweating. In fact, you sweating, that's good for your body. Now you're releasing toxins. Get all the toxins out. That's good. Get out of that hot field. Sweat. And right here, you see that they kept it in Egypt. Then the last place we go to is Ezekiel. Go to the book of Ezekiel, the 44th chapter. Ezekiel chapter 44. 44th chapter of Ezekiel.